Good morning. Stick my face in there so you know I'm here. I am. This morning I am, let me just say, it's April 26th, 2025. I'm in my kitchen, and about a month ago I planted up some Canna rhizomes that I had been overwintering inside of my house. I don't have a cold storage, so they have to survive in the room temperature in my house over winter, which is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, or I don't know, roughly 20 Celsius. It's worked. The dahlia tubers have not, I don't think they made it. I tried last year just keeping them in a pot and letting them die back and seeing what they would happen, but I think maybe they need a little bit of a cold snap, you know, just above freezing, maybe 40 degrees. I don't have a fridge. Anyway, so I decided I would just let them sit in the pot and kind of die back and dry out, and then sometime in early spring I dig them out of the pot on a nice day if it's about 65 degrees outside, so nothing freezes and gets too cold. This one here I have came from a single plant that's about 5 years old now. A couple weeks ago I took it outside and pulled it apart, but it was living in a pot in my house in like a 5-gallon planter, like kind of like that. So anyway, this one in particular is called Canna, Wyoming. It's very tall. It will grow very tall foliage and get beat up when it hails and winds, but you know, that's how it works. This one I cannot remember the name of the variety. My mother bought it for me a few years ago from a big box store. I can't remember which one, but so I now have several of these. I've split them apart, and this year I'm going to start passing them on to my mother and my mother-in-law. And you know what? If they don't survive and they die in the fall, then that's what happens, because I don't expect them to go through the same trouble I do. That's fine. But I thought you could hang around if you wanted as I plant this one up. If you buy these in the store in a bag, this is about what they look like. This, I don't know if you can even see that. Yeah, just sort of like a gnarly little rhizome. But this here, you can see there's kind of a little tip here. That's gonna produce a new shoot. That all that green foliage right there comes out of here. These down here are your roots. These are all dry, and that's fine. I'll pick them off. It creates new root growth. So it's kind of some dried up, stubbly gunk. It would be probably too difficult for me to push a secateurs through there, so I'm just gonna leave it, it's fine. But I'm gonna place it in a pot, probably like that, like horizontally, not vertically, right? It seems strange, but don't worry. And don't worry, if you end up planting it like, oh no, it was upside down, the plant figures it out and it'll grow out, okay? So, I got a few in here, and I'm gonna try and force myself to edit in a photo so you can see what the guy looks like fully grown in the zenith of summer. Nice roots. Look, nice firm tubers. When you pull them out of a bag, if you buy some in a store, you probably get about 3 to a pack for, I don't know, man, anywhere from $6 to $15, depending on the size, the variety, where you shop, okay? So you could probably pick them up like this from a greenhouse nowadays. I know I've seen a few of them show up now in the last year or two. Way up north here, which is kind of new. There's another one. That's a really big one. See, he's kind of dead though right there, but I'm gonna leave it attached. If that, maybe it'll feed the rhizome further. We don't wanna, okay? Let's see, what else we got in here? There's another one. He's coming, he'll be fine. Okay, and a couple of empty pots here. So, I'm gonna throw some potting soil in here. Let me find a new one, newer. One of mine. And it's a cleaner environment, even though everything's full of soil and pebble. It's fine. So, potting soil, regular, bought in. Apologies, I cannot produce enough compost in my little operation, so it has to be bought in. Here we go. Okay. Now, I'm merely potting these up in this pot. Cannas will grow much bigger. This one even, I'll take him out of here when summer really rolls around, June 1st probably, maybe even late May. I take them outside during the day now when the days are warm enough, say, 70, 65 even. They need to toughen up a little bit. They'll be inside the house and not used to UV light from the sun, the full exposure, and so they'll probably wilt over a little bit for a while. You give them a little water, make sure they're, a little cooler, but keep them, they'll get sunburnt. This one got a little scorched, you know what I mean? So you kind of push them into the shade a little bit, pull them out. Pay attention to them. They'll tell you what they're looking for, okay? They'll let you know, but you have to watch. So I'm gonna start by planting the rhizome up in a small container like this, but inevitably he'll be in a much bigger planter, probably with other plants in there, honestly. That depends. So, thing is too, the rhizome does not have to be planted very deeply, but you want to give him room to grow some deep roots. So I'm going to place the rhizome somewhat close to the surface and put really just about that much soil over the top of it. Trust I'm in frame. I tell you what, gardening, growing things from seed has been the most remarkable education in trust, a different kind of trust. Because I tell you what, even after, a few years of doing this, not a decade, but half, every time I go to put something in the soil, I think, this is never gonna work. And then it does. It just does. And so it's this weird trust. It's going to come out. It's going to work. And it does. Okay. I don't know, these pots are almost a little small for my little shoots here. Might need a bigger, well, that one will work. Put this one in here. You know what? I got this little tiny blump. See, like it's got little nodules coming on it. This one wants to sprout. So we're gonna let it. Here, I'm gonna take some of this. Oh, those are little fine feeder roots in there. That's good. Okay. So, I don't know, can you see that? I've got about, that much soil in there. And I'm just going to sort of nestle that. I know I said sideways, but okay, we'll plant it sideways. He'll find his way up. Okay. See, I'm just gonna lay it in there, almost like putting it to bed. And then cover it up. If I want this to respond quicker, then say just a month waiting. Actually, that's pretty decent growth for a month in March, April, you know what I mean? But if I wanted to go faster, a little faster, you put some heat on it, put a little heat mat around it, or set it, I have a little card table with a heat mat and my grow lamps sort of clipped on there over there, but I could set it in there with some heat. What is that? Get out there. But anyway, because that's what they need in order to wake up, basically, is a little bit of heat and some moisture and contact with the soil. So it's in there, it's nice and snug. I'm gonna top this off with a little bit of grit because I love it. And then I'm gonna give it a big drink. I'm gonna put a little drip tray around that. Some of this is a little wet yet. I rinsed it off. I had all kinds of seeds sprouting out of it. Anyway, because it's reused from last year. So I rinsed it off so it's a little cleaner. Let me get a tray. I need something to catch the water. Okay, my handy dandy ice cream pails. Here we go. Also, I need a label. I will forget. Well, the truth is it'll sprout and I'll know exactly what it is, but I like to know when I sowed it or potted it up. It's just handy information. Pencil. am wildly unprepared for this. Let's pretend I wrote today's date on here, April 26th. Canna, stuck it in there. I'll come back and do that. Let's see, and some water. 1 second. Oh, that's a fine how do you do. There. Apologies. Normally I have a bunch of these filled and sitting around waiting, but I'm just gonna pour this water in. Am I close enough? Nice good drink. And that's it. Would that take a minute 20? I mean, really, I know the rest of the stuff was kind of fast, but the actual planting of it was like 60 seconds worth of your time. You'll have something quite beautiful. Anyway, you have a good day.